Hello, good morning, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous and another cup of space coffee. I am Noden, your host, as always. So, stuff happening, and indeed, if you look down in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see we are in beta 2, 2.03 to be specific. A couple of hiccups on the way into this patch here. This is the first patch of the 3 that I've even been able to play, so that is saying something. But this is so good. Haven't been playing around much. You can see actually we're down here in a Sidewinder, so there's been a massive reset, so we don't have all of our cool things, our pretty ships, and all of our money. We are broke. We are so broke. Can I see how broke I am? There we go, 1,800 credits. That's how broke we are. But there's been a lot of amazing changes, a lot of UI changes, and some of them are really nice. But I think the biggest, well, I shouldn't say I think, the biggest change is this pill-shaped bastard right here. So the number of systems in that are available to Pilot 2 has expanded tenfold. There were 50 before. There are now 500 systems that you're capable of going to, most of which have not been explored yet. And in fact, you won't even be able to get information on them until you get there, or you buy information from a cartographer about many of these systems. So as systems become explored, you can, I believe, sell that information on to cartographers, and then that information can be sold to other people. So we're here at Dahan. We've been doing just a couple of little runs. We don't have a lot of, options here. But you can see there's a new option here. You can go to a system view, and that actually brings you right into the system. So you can see that there's planets. You can find information about the planets here. Well, a little bit of planet information. And even, what bodies are around them and what bodies are around them. So there's a lot of really interesting information to get, and especially in that many of the systems now have multiple stations, so it's useful once you get in system, or even before you get in system, to kind of find out what's going on here and there. And you can see items that are prohibited, so you can see sugar is prohibited here. So there's lots of little things that you can kind of be, so you can check before you want to come in. So you can see, oh, look at the exports. You can see they have a titanium and tantalium, I don't even know what that is, and indium. They're making up words here, and I don't know how to say it. I've also should say, because I'm just listening to myself speak a lot, I've been very sick the last week, basically, so my voice isn't 100%, which is unfortunate, but, we're pushing through. We're making a life of it. We're making a day of it. Drinking our space coffee. Well, actually, in this case, it's space green tea. Taste that greeny tea-ness. Let's get a quick little refuel here, and we are going to, you can see this has been massively redesigned as well. All the features are still there. You got our bulletin board, many more options for things to, what's this going? But many more missions, quests, whatever you want to call them. All the same sort of things where there's, little delivery ones, or you can kill some people, or different things like that. Anyways, but that's not what we're going to do. Oh, here's the universal cartographers. Standing by. There we go. So you can see we can buy information on systems or on individual, looks like planets, possibly. I don't know, just all systems. But, pretty cheap, really, to get a bit of information, and then you can kind of make that information useful for something. So many changes. I haven't found them all yet, even. I'm still making my way through it. All I know is that I'm broke, and I am ready to not be broke. So let us pick up some... let's pick up a titanium, because we can pick up a titanium. Submit. And we will pick up aluminum. There we are. Hopefully that will be profitable. And we will get out of here. So we are going to take this to Ibutis. But before we do that, we're going to initialize a new feature. So you can see we've been using the track IR here, again, by my skill looks. And hopefully this time I'm going to try to keep my head a little bit less flighty. Apparently I'm like a hummingbird and I just kind of all the time. So, but we have something new. A new feature that we are playing with, a new control mechanism, and it is voice attack. So I'm just going to take a moment and initialize it. Good morning, Astra.
I'm here.
So voice attack is a system that allows us to use voice commands and interpret them into a game or program or what have you. I'm also using I believe it's the Elite Dangerous Voice Pack. It's a pay-for pack, but they do a really great job of creating these sound files that sound really good and sound so much better than the default Windows voice. So let's go launch. So yeah, like I said, pay for pack. There'll be a link in the description for both voice attack and the Elite Dangerous voice pack. Lights.
Lights.
So it's not, it doesn't do anything that you couldn't do anyways. You're not going to, I don't know, make jumps to light speed or whatever like that. That you couldn't do by hitting a key on your keyboard.
Engines engaged.
Raise landing gear.
Retracting the landing gear.
But it does mean that you can, for instance, if you had things bound to control devices like your joystick, for instance, you can now use those control things for things that are a little bit more useful. Did I set a waypoint? No. We need to go to where? Aranon. We want to go this way. And one of the things I like about that is that, especially, I don't use a HOTAS system. I don't have a hands-on stick and throttle and stick. I don't have an independent throttle. I don't have a million control surfaces. Make the jump.
Drive charging.
I do have the joystick here, the old Logitech Extreme 3D Pro, and it's got, some buttons, and they're kind of useful, and it does have a little throttle on there, but I never use it because it's really inconvenient when I need my hand on the keyboard for everything else. So I'm a hands-on keyboard and stick kind of a guy, which is fine. And you know what? And I could make, for instance, that jump. I could have hit J instead of, using a voice command, make the jump. But another issue is that my microphone is directly in my line of sight to my keyboard. So I actually have to physically physically feel over for the J key in order to make that happen. Which, again, not a huge deal. But when I can just say, make the jump.
Drive charging.
So much easier. And I don't have to move my hand.
Jumping. Everything
is nice and combined. Plus, it's pretty future-y cool, I think. But, So yeah, so we've got new mechanics now with exploration, or I should say, certainly, check it out. We've got updated mechanics for exploration, and a lot of little changes. So there's been some slight changes to the flight model. I don't really know all the details of that. People who have done more sort of PvP or any kind of, I don't know, fighting space combat would have much better. I've got very little experience with that. Something I've really been meaning to fix here. But also I think that here in open play, at any rate, the load times, I've had much faster load times now in this 2.03 update. I have heard people complaining about it in some of the previous two version 2 iterations, but this one seems to be so far pretty good. So yeah, not getting any kind of hanging. We're not kind of sitting around in hyperspace. We got a full cargo. Should we check that out? What do you think? Maybe? We're gonna pass it and we'll have to come back at it, but you know what? There's another one here. Maybe it's, you know what? We don't have time for this. We don't have any cargo space. If there's cargo, we've got nothing that's helpful. We're going to blow past this because we have not been monitoring our speed. Dull. That's okay. Not a big deal. You know, we'll just do a bit of a loop-de-loop. One of the other things that I actually have been very happy about is the distance from a dock to, or from where you come out of Super Cruise to the dock has been greatly reduced. Man, we're just not slowing down. I'm used to the larger ships or something, and how fast they slow down or something. I don't know, but I'm just blowing past things now. All right, here we go. Nearly there. Kill FTL.
Drive deactivated.
We'll see a bit of a load time on this one. But still by far not the worst. But yeah, so the distance from that you come out of FTL into the dock has been greatly reduced. It used to be 20 kilometers, now it's just 8. And that is fantastic. It means you can almost immediately request docking permissions. Lights.
Lights.
And you've got very little distance to go to get to your house, and that's your house, your destination, and that's nice because that 20 kilometers, I mean, that wasn't bad, but it really slowed down the whole trading process, I found, and which I mean isn't a bad thing. In fact, I at one point considered a really good sort of mechanic for slowing things down. 13. Whoop. Landing gear. Lower landing gear.
Deploying landing gear.
And we're just gonna yaw around in the slowest possible thing in the entire world. There we go.
Docking successful.
Docking successful.
Engines disengaged.
Lights.
Lights.
Alright, so we will enter the hangar. And we'll just bring up our services. But yeah, so it really speeds things up. It does, like I said, I don't know, there is something to be said about that, having that extra distance, especially on the larger, slower ships. But I think one of the things it does help prevent is it does help prevent people from just sitting in front of the docks and just shooting, like, and just killing indiscriminately as people kind of show up. So, got 171 out of that one. Nice. So not a huge profit, but you know, we're making gains here. We're making our way in the world. Because that was an issue and is still an issue, where you have people sitting in front of stations just ganging up on large freighters and things like that, and taking their cargo, and having that extra, you know, having that smaller distance to have to travel means that there's less time for them to target you. You're inside the quote-unquote no-fire zone of the station, so you should be well and safe and wonderful. But I am going to make a few more trades, try to get a new ship going on in here, and yeah, that's gonna be it for us and this cup of space coffee. So we will wait and see you guys next time, and when we do, there will be some amazing things going on in our lives in space with coffee. Maybe. I don't know. I really got nothing. All right, whatever. Until then, ciao, I love you. Good night.